solidarity forever, for the union is so strong.
2023 Harmattan School, organized by NLC here in Abuja. We are highly honored and highly delighted having you hosted by NLC FCT Council. For us, the theme, building worker skill for policy engagement, is apt and timely. So many emerging issues in the labor movement, so many policies, so many things happening, issues which some of us are witnessing today, call for serious education, calls for serious knowledge, effective engagement of some policies through necessary skills in order to get them right. And I believe that this meeting is aimed at giving us such education.
In 2019, when the ILO adopted the centenary declaration, prior to that, there were quite a number of national dialogues between member state and social partners, and we were all figuring out what is it that we needed to do better in order to make sure that we continue in our journey of really achieving social justice and, most importantly, realizing the decent work agenda. So all these changes that are brought by globalization, climate change, the change in demographics, they are really enabling us to sit and reposition ourselves in order to respond positively to these challenges. Many of them are also bringing a lot of opportunities that we believe it will be sad if we miss them because we will not be ready to address and respond to them. And I think it is against this backdrop that there is no better time than now for a very serious and strategic discussion and reflection on what organized labor can do in Nigeria and how it can actually inform and influence policy outcomes and policy engagement. And I'm very delighted that the 19th edition of the NLC Harmattan School is actually dedicated to reflecting on the pertinent issues of how can trade union build power and transform their organization in the context of rapidly changing economic and labor market policies. Policy engagement, as we know, is the facet of social dialogue. And as I said, for the ILO, social dialogue forms a crucial part of our policy coherence and effectiveness in terms of responding to crisis and also building resilience of our workers' organization and of our enterprises or employers' organization. We saw the GB approve the Global Coalition for Social Justice. And this coalition is very important because it seeks to bring all the relevant partners and stakeholders on the ground to really converse and reinvigorate, introduce innovative strategies to really commit in investing and fostering or creating a conducive environment towards social justice and decent work. And indeed here in Nigeria, those conversations and dialogues will have to happen involving the workers and the employers and all the critical other stakeholders that are mentioned. So it is very important that as we are having this capacity building and having this conversation, we are also mindful of very critical dialogues that will require our participation and contribution.
I'm particularly happy to be here today because the Harmattan School is a very important event, and we as FVS are proud to have supported it also in the past, and we will continue to support it in the future. I can use my trade union voice now even without a microphone. I think we are in times of poly-crisis where we still feel the effects of the pandemic. We have the climate crisis, and it's very timely that right now heads of states and delegates and also civil society members and of course members of your trade union congress are now in Dubai to discussing about how to combat the climate crisis. And also if we look at Nigeria, I think it's fair to say that there are some struggles that workers have to address. So I'm pleased to hear that the topic of this school will be building workers' skills for policy engagement, because I think this is especially timely and relevant. Workers can only engage policymakers if they understand how policies are created, who the important stakeholders are, and how they operate. And I think especially during these times, these will be very important skills for many of you. I hope that they will trickle down to the shop floor, and you who are here to have the privilege of receive this knowledge will be able to give it further to your sisters, to your brothers, to your colleagues, to be able to work for change.
Country Program Director of the America Center for International Labour Solidarity, Comrade Sonia Ogbuehi. I bring you fraternal greetings from more than 12.5 million trade union activists in the United States of America. The Solidarity Center, also known as the America Center for International Labour Solidarity, is a technical arm of the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organization. It places as a premium issues around migration, gender, trade, especially the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, which advances a borderless continent where trade can easily take place among member states. However, these issues come with a lot of worker-based challenges bordering on decent work agenda. Equally, the Solidarity Center is concerned about issues, especially of the shrinking civic spaces. So at the Solidarity Center, our fraternal commitment is sustained on those pillars, on the continuation of supporting the Nigerian Labour Congress and the entire labour movement in Africa and on the continent to provide technical capacity on how best the Congress and the rest of the movement would engage policy on those issues highlighted. Finally, as we prepare next year, the Congress prepare next year to engage to the next phase of the minimum wage, there are huge expectations, and these are policy issues. The Solidarity Center looks up to sustaining its capacity in this regard. So,
in the face of adversity and brutality, encountered well advocating for the rights of workers to earn their legitimate income and benefits. Our resolve remains unwavering. We are motivated to continue our effort toward achieving decent work and improving working conditions in the formal and informal sector of the economy. The recent assault on workers and their leaders in Imo State poses a grave threat to freedom of association and collective bargaining as enshrined in Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. It gives me a great pleasure to have all of us here as guests and participants at this opening session to the 2023 Harmattan School. Your presence here is a demonstration of the importance attached by all of us to the NLC training programs, especially the NLC national schools. It is the belief of the NLC that our continuous success lies in the empowerment of the members of the affiliate unions of the NLC through skill development such as the Harmattan School will provide. In the course of the 5 days that this program will last, an FCT chairman of NLC has given us open check. Even if you reach town, you don't have money, call him. He will send money to you. The participants will have the opportunity to learn, build new insights, develop new strategies that will be deployed into doing trade union work. interact and build solidarity among themselves. I implore all of us to approach this training program with a quest and test for knowledge through asking of questions and sharing of experiences with the facilitators and with one another. The theme of the 2023 Harmattan School, Building Workers' Skills for Policy Engagement, is very apt, given the importance of skill and knowledge in policy processes and engagements. We need to be acquainted with the relevant laws, the rules and regulations governing the issue for which the policy is being developed. Unions are democratic institutions and the voice of the working people, and the masses rely very heavily on the consensual input and contributions of the members to take decisions. It is on this premise that as trade unions, we must reach out to our members to tap and gather data for their experiences to create policy choices to ascertain the impact assessment of the policy on the members and the people.
Everybody wants to work with Nigeria. Nigeria was on the center stage for good and for bad. We're on the center stage because people appreciate our educational programs. But we're also on the stage for bad because they could not understand why anybody will pounce on the tiny Ajero and beat him to pulp. So, head or tail, we're making news. But I would rather we make news properly on genuine positive strands we are taking. So for Frederick Kibet, like I explained to his colleagues, that they have been very useful to us. I won't call it reprimands, it was requisitions and regrets from our African brothers who were asking me, is Harmattan School going to hold or not? We had colleagues from Kenya, Liberia, Ghana, South Africa, who due to the hardship in our country now, we can't afford to bring them. They are not here.